Hello, Alan Kennedy here from Charlotte, North Carolina. This is Saturday, the 23rd of March, about 8:30 a.m. And I just want to give a brief synopsis on my trip, my first Abraham Hicks experience. I got on this, I wanted to go. When it happened, I realized emotionally and spiritually that it was time for me. I needed it. Solo trip, didn't travel with anyone. So I pulled the trigger and I went. Number one, I wanted to be a part of this. I wanted to find out what it was more about. I wanted to build on the next segment of my life. And lo and behold, a door was open for it. So I went, I pulled the trigger on it, and it was going to be expensive, but I got a roommate. Turned out to be a fantastic roommate. John, we couldn't have got along any better. He's a super guy with a great heart. Learned a lot from him. I also learned a lot from other people. The whole experience, just to let you know who Abraham Hicks is, it's a group of non-physical entities. It's channeled through Esther Hicks on stage. And basically you go to these sessions. This cruise was 10 days. We went to 5 different islands in the Western Caribbean. Had a great time. But the days we were sailing, Esther Hicks channeled Abraham on a stage. Up to about 800 people, I think, were there. And there's this hot seat. This hot seat is a chair on the stage. You sit down, you raise your hand, you go up, and you ask her a bunch of questions. Or ask him a bunch of questions. Or him. I'm not sure about the pronouns to use here. But, and you can ask anything you want. Well, I've got a list of questions. I'm so new to this. A lot of people asked questions. I was not actually called on stage myself, even though I raised my hands a bunch of times. I'm going to ask those questions on this video. I'm going to put them down there. I don't know, there's 8, 10, 12 questions, I think, that's going to be on there. And if you read this, if you hear this, if you see this, if you're acquainted with these answers and would like to take part, like to answer them, I'd love to hear from you. Because I'm kind of sorting this all out. To the novice, or to the ones that have a history of, Protestant church, Catholic, or whatever their faith is in the past, whatever they think to be true, it may seem kind of weird, and by definition, it is weird. However, I've got a very open mind, and I thought I knew. Well, I do know what I've learned in my spiritual background as a Christian, and what I've learned and felt and established in my life. And I go to this, and I'm looking for maybe red flags. I'm looking for idiosyncrasies or challenges or incongruities in all this, but I'm not finding it. So instead, what I'm finding is that it supports biblical principle. I'm also reading a lot of other books that also, talks about the same thing from different angles. It's coming together. Kind of exciting to read these different books written over hundreds of years of time span, but they're kind of saying the same thing, pointing to the same direction. And they're not contradicting the Bible. They're actually supporting it in a lot of ways. And I'm reading the Bible now with a whole set of a different lens, a different thought mentality, a different, I wouldn't say objective, but a different viewpoint. Anyway, everybody there, the cruise was wonderful. The cruise ship, Celebrity, was fantastic. The food was great, top-notch. Entertainment was top-notch. The island excursions, I did it on my own every time. And basically, I had in my brain what I wanted. And there's a couple of times I knew what I wanted. It didn't start out that way, but I kept thinking, wanting it, and it happened. I lost my wallet twice. Crazy things happen. I lost my phone. We actually went to the island, got back to the port, or just about back, and I realized I didn't have my phone. I went back to the beach, ended up finding my phone. One time a taxi driver found it in the grass. I says, what are the chances of that happening? But during the process, when I did realize it was gone, I thinking to myself, not a big deal. It'll come up. I'll find it. I've got my phone. It's just a little minor glitch. And I got back to the boat in time. Everything always works out perfectly for me. That's my new saying. And it did. Even though I lost everything, and I found, and it was not a problem. I engaged with some people. My favorite times on the ship were times talking to people, interacting with people, sharing their ideas and their life stories. Everybody has a story, and I loved hearing some of these stories. And anyway, for a lot of people, where I'm at now, they hear this, even my family, they're not really open to this. They don't really understand it. They think I'm a Fruit Loop, I guess you could say. But the people on the Abraham Hicks cruise, they're real. This is the real deal. I have no doubt of that because I've witnessed it in my life. I witnessed it this week, and my life will never be the same. It's what I think about myself, my life, my feeling, how I feel about everything, that creates my reality, my objectified reality. It's kind of, and it makes sense. A lot of people don't realize it. If we're doing it anyway, by default, why not do it with intention and deliberation? So I am doing that. The more I do it, the more I see it. And I just like to share what I'm excited about. Most people do. So regardless of your viewpoint, regardless of your history, you may not see this, but hopefully that door will be open to you sometime. Anyway, it's pretty exciting. And this group, they're excited. They've done it many more times than I have, for longer than I have. And I see the exuberance, the satisfaction, the joy on their faces. They're called hamster heads. Something to do with a rodent. I know that. But anyway, they're a group. They're a fun group of people, and I'm gonna go on more. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm reading like 8 or 9 or 10 books at a time right now, and I've got a list of books from these guys that I'm gonna read. Basically, I'm seeking the truth. Ask and ye shall find. Seek and ye shall. Ask and it is given. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. That's all I'm doing. Trying to find the truth. But it's an exciting adventure, and I've met some wonderful people, and I hope to see them again and be in contact with them. So it's all good. So don't dismiss something or just wipe it out just because it's not inside your box of relevant history or your perspective or your experience in life. You haven't seen that. I say be open to it. But always be kind of, ask God or the Spirit to say, if this is totally off base, let me know. Give me an uneasy feeling about it. And that uneasy feeling is what I'm looking for. Haven't found it yet. So anyway, I encourage everyone to have an open mind, open frame. And I'd love your feedback on this, just as somebody new getting started into this. Have a blessed day.